A relationship of any kind starts based on trust. And in any relationship, respect is very important. A relationship that doesn't exhibit the existence of respect is a dead relationship, or it's a relationship that's in the process of dying. Because for a relationship to continue, those two elements, the trust and the respect, has to be there intact. When any person or people in any kind of relationship, whether it's a family among families, whether in a two opposite sex relationship, or in any friendship or relationship among different countries, when that trust is not there from one of the other party, then the relationship will have a challenge to continue, because it's based on that trust relationship. And in any relationship, if someone stays in a relationship that lacks trust or that lacks respect, eventually the person who is disrespectful, or the person who lacks the trust, will harm the other one. And the more the other one stays in that relationship, the more the harm, the pain, the hurt will continue. And eventually it will become a victim. And the truth in any relationship, for any person to be disrespectful, is the room we give to the people or to the person to disrespect us. If we accept the disrespectfulness, it will continue. Unless we give a person or a people the room to disrespect us, the disrespect will not be there. I'm not saying it's not going, they're not going to try. They will test the water. They will check how far you can give. How can you let go of yourself to be disrespected? So there is a responsibility in our own, the way we play, the way we let people to disrespect us. If we stand for ourselves, even if we swing, we punch, we try to fight for people not to cross the boundary and to respect us, they might not try again. And you will also earn respect. What we are seeing globally right now, we are in a global warfare as one planet with the same cause. That battle is between integrity, the truth, and those who are against that truth, betraying the relationship that was based on trust. They go against that trust, and they do behind the scene become untrustworthy, become disrespectful, become harmful to the other. So the relationship is in problem. All the chaos for the last 4 years, if we see it, if we diagnose it, if you can to make sense out of it, why it's happening? It must have a reason, and everything starts somewhere. The reason is we have a common problem, if I see it back in Ethiopia, where I came from, and if I see it what's going on in the US currently, have the same problem. we have a common problem because the causation and the correlation relationship is the same. So does the symptoms. What's happening back home 3 years ago? And it's exactly now what's coming in the US. It starts, the root cause started on betrayal of relationship. Because country leaders, to have with a different country based on trust, they betrayed. One of the party betrayed, and the other is paying the consequence of the betrayal. Because of the underneath, the hidden, the other person that doesn't realize what was there, the distress, is paying the price. So betrayal in any relationship will leave either a single individual person, depends on the relationship, or a larger scale nations to be harmed, to be hurt, to be cost their life and victimized. So, to come to the main point, what caused a betrayal in Ethiopia is a betrayal of leaders abusing their power and became distrustful and joining another group to take away something from Ethiopia. That something from Ethiopia is resource. Every battle is always targeting one thing and one thing. Most of the time, they are after the resources and then the power. The power without resource is nothing. Unless there is the resource, the power cannot be built or maintained. So the two has to go together. Ethiopia has natural untapped resources in all aspects, from the potash, from the water, from natural landscapes, for agriculture, for tourism, and the people are hardworking people. They're humble, hospitable, friendly, loyal, cheerful, easy to go with. When a country interferes in another country with a negative motive, with a hidden underneath subtle ulterior motive to take advantage of a situation without the other person agreed or don't even realize it, is a betrayal. So, based on that, I want to say this to the global citizens of our planets. Those who know us closely or to whom we are strangers. We Ethiopians scattered worldwide has a noble character with our loyalty, diligence, humbleness, being friendly and hospitable are our true brand. Because we are a God-fearing nation who also have a distinct blend living in harmony with our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters who are almost 50% of our nation. You don't see such harmony anywhere else than in a highly populated area composed of mostly the youth in Ethiopia. We Ethiopians have a mind that creates and invent. We can do local and international businesses that achieves success. If we are working for other people, give us a job or an opportunity is our language. Whether professional or skilled work, we do it as if it's our own business. And we deliver it, quality being our standard and excellence is our brand. Your success, happiness, and business satisfaction is our happiness too. For we are a civilized nation who knows the importance of business in a win-win situation. We also strongly support and advocate the importance of international diplomacy with our country, which doesn't harm our national interest, as well as our culture, history, belief system, our identity and core values based on mutual respect and trust. However, we Ethiopians are betrayed lately by world leaders as well as by world institutions. Such institutions like the Nobel Peace Prize Award Committee for lacking a proper exhaustive assessments to evaluate if the candidate they pick as a nominee was really qualified or not before they rushed and gave a Nobel Peace Prize reward for a man who has already orchestrated by then assassinations of a man who served our country with such integrity and loyalty, our late military commander-in-chief, General Salman, and his colleagues at his house, while lots of higher government officials who were men of integrity as well murdered in Amhara region in June 2019. Way before, the Peace Prize Committee have had elected a nominee for 2019 Nobel Peace Award. They have been assassinated in June 2019. And as you may all know, we live in a world that's flat and with all global connectivity. Ethiopia is neither an island in a different planet nor isolated in a global platform that news spread closer to the speed of light these days, thanks to the advancement of technology. And yet, I felt like the world slapped us with the white lies and deceptions when awarded a criminal murderer to cover up his killings by portraying Abiy Ahmed as a peacemaker, a man who is anti-peace, anti-integrity from day one, has boasted his image of a narcissistic psychopath and a murderer through Nobel Peace Prize Award. Since his image is important, because that's all what he has as a narcissist psychopath that needs a professional help, then assigned to kill our people by boosting him his image as a peacemaker. The Nobel Peace offered as a mask for what has been unmasked during the assassinations. Since the Nobel Peace Award exists to cover truth. And what is the truth? This Nobel Peace Prize Committee, the award committee, they are contributing for monsters to rise up and harm our planet. And they do have a part in it for the lack of peace in my country, Ethiopia, in our country, Ethiopia. History has repeated itself. Alfred Nobel used to create conflicts by creating dynamite that harms human beings. So that's the advancement of science. It was a damage control for his legacy and reputation after a newspaper by mistake announced his death. Wanted to be remembered as a good man who did good stuff, then associated him explosive dynamites that harms people. Well, does the Peace Prize Award Committee kept that legacy or brought back history to unfold? Since any award is given to acknowledge and give credit to the person, that in a way is also to encourage and motivate to continue doing the stuff all the more. This Ethiopian illegitimate leader Abiy Ahmed Ali is kept on doing the killing in all the crimes in Ethiopia. The Nobel Peace Award leaderships and its committee failed us Ethiopians. This in its entirety is an insult for us Ethiopians and disrespectfulness at its climax, at the expense of our people's lives lost to promote the murderer. The African Union, IGAD, and the United Nations, in their corruptedness, also stood where the money is, than to stood for the people in this ordeal. And I personally label them among the few other institutions who betrayed our citizens and our country, Ethiopia, and the entire East Africa. When leadership at organizational scale globally betrayed us and exposed us to get vulnerable and be harmed, we say it bluntly as it is because it's what it is. We are betrayed by many, and they broke the long-standing relationship that we have built by playing our part fairly, inclusively, and respectfully, standing with peace and solidarity for mutual benefits in a win-win partnership, in a win-win situation. That trust and solidarity has been tarnished in all aspects when it comes to Ethiopia as a country and our citizens to be a victim of all the human rights abuses. Like the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, the UN Director General Antonio Guterres knew the Eritrean sanction is not lifted because of the peace deal between Ethiopians and Eritreans, rather to give a green light and freedom of movement for a warlord, criminal and dictator, Isaias Afwerki, to become the mercenary of Mohammed bin Zayed of Abu Dhabi Crown Prince, and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and started killing our people since that sanction has been lifted on July 10th, 2018. Right the next day, after the so-called scripted drama of the two Eastern African countries, Ethiopia and Eritrea, signed the peace deal in Asmara, Eritrea. It was all calculated as a package list of executions in the conspiracy had been planned out in advance as part of the process to sell our country, Ethiopia, in secret to that of the two Middle East countries, Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, UAE. The sanction is used to appoint and use the Eritrean dictator President Isaias Afwerki to be a team player of Abiy Ahmed in the killing business of 10,000s of Ethiopian civilians. So that through those two mercenaries who work for them, for the two Middle East countries, Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia, to the two illegal and criminal de facto, Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman, so that they can take over Ethiopia as their colony to be rich and prosper, other than the oil revenue that's shaking. To begin with, the Eritrean sanction has nothing to do with Ethiopia. The Eritrean sanction has been there because Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki was helping and aiding to the Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Yet, this global institution, United Nations, which Ethiopia is a member, by lifting that's illegal. It has nothing to do with Ethiopia. A crime, a terrorist who support the cause of in a different country, in a different place. By saying Ethiopia and Eritrea is making peace, to lift that sanction is wrong. So, we are betrayed. Therefore, when the most corrupted office, the UN, lifted the sanction of Eritrea, it has nothing to do with the respective neighboring country, people, peace, progress. Because you can go and see where people of Eritrea and people of Ethiopia right now. Their citizens, their civilians are dying, engaging in a war that the people are not wanted this war. Who's benefiting out of the war? Those illegal criminals who facilitate in the betrayal process, lifting something that was there to protect civilians, to protect the area, for security, for safety. But they are serving the Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman to their favor, to their mission to take over Ethiopia under their colony. And 110 million people, Ethiopians, has to be vulnerable to this cause. There is no peace between Ethiopian people and Eritrean people they built. They use that, taking advantage of, to make it like it seems scenery. This is illegal. If the government of America has put a sanction to Iran because America is making a good relationship with Pakistan, so lift up the sanction in Iran, it just doesn't make sense, does it? So there is illegality, there is a crime, not only by those directly who attack us, even by those peace awarding institution in the United Nations is also involving in that. It's a gambling with different motives that was all laid in advance in the blueprint of the conspiracy that the two Middle East countries empowered and using the American president to harm us, and using and controlling through their money those institutions to function in a distressful way. They are not serving their mission. They are serving individuals' illegal and crime mission. That's why 2 weeks after the Eritrean sanction has been lifted to this date, until now, November 21st, 2020, assassinations and mass massacres have a daily routine become in Ethiopia. Even now, the war in Tigray, in the north, is a result of all this betrayal, illegal, lawlessness, deception, conspiracy, grouping, a mafia network so large they control the globe with the dirty money, is what people of Ethiopia is facing, becoming sabotaged and becoming a victim. With the head loyal engineer Semaño Bekele, who was handling the Ethiopian Great Anansi Dam. So 2 weeks after the Eritrean sanction has been lifted on July 26, has been assassinated a loyal engineer who led the ongoing project of the Ethiopian Great Anansi Dam. Found dead in his car in the early morning of that day, July 26, 2018, after the UN lifted the Eritrean sanction on July 10, 2018. The same day, after the engineer passed away in the morning, later in the evening, the leader of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, kicked off to the US to deflect the situation and posted a picture even in social media, his celebration party while airborne. This engineer has been assassinated in favor of Egypt to disrupt the Ethiopian Great Anansi project of the dam in the Blue Nile. Then, concerning the issue, the Prime Minister, he later on pointed a finger at the Tigrayan People Liberation Front, subtly for the nation to focus on by labeling them as a common enemy who became his scapegoat for every chaos and crime in the country, so that to crack down their power in order to defeat them and take over the country, whether by the hook or the crook, with the plan to enslave our future, as is working as a mercenary for the two Middle East country, to take our country under colony, with the plan, like I said, to enslave our future. This is the only mission they have to the state. That's why our people is assassinated, massacred, and now engaging in a war. Abiy Ahmed being in the front leader together with the Eritrean president, they killed our people, since their role is being mercenaries, that they report to the behind-scene Ethiopian current background leaders, Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman. Welcome to our real world, full of groupings, conspiracy, clique, lies, manipulations, and deceptions. Since Abiy Ahmed came to power, our innocent civilians are falling like the fall leaves after being attacked with guns or spears that causes their brutal deaths by taking away their rights to live. Therefore, when the United Nations took the Eritrean sanction, the following day after the two leaders make a peace deal, it has no tangible evidence to lift a sanction as a piece of cake. To begin with, the UN sanction on Eritrea has nothing to do with Ethiopia than Isaias aiding Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Therefore, truth to be told, when the UN lifted its sanction in Eritrea, was a plot. It was a plot laid in advance in the blueprint of a conspiracy through the means of dirty money in order to expose we Ethiopians and to harm us in serving those who conspire to take over our land, our territory, our sovereignty, by killing our civilians, our people, by killing our people in their yard, in their home, in their turf. They came to our home, our own country, to assassinate, to massacre us. While Donald Trump stays in his office because he covered up for them for any human rights abuse they are committing by supporting those two dictators, Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea president and Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopian illegitimate leader, who has appointed to come to power just to betray the Ethiopian people and to be mercenary to make Ethiopia a colony to Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman. Is the world telling us those who have money and rich can be lawless and live in peace, and those who doesn't have money does not have the right to live? We need an answer from the world criminals court and the world society. This is a call, justice for us Ethiopians, that all our people are not safe under Abiy Ahmed, and justice for all the crimes committed in Ethiopia for the last 3 years. World long-standing institutions such as the Nobel Peace Prize, United Nations, IGAD, African Union, and many more, with their wealth and dirty money as a means to achieve their vision, the two Middle East countries are using them as their tool to advance their mission. Because the question is whether a person as an individual or prestigious international institutions will remain to their very core of existence by keeping intact their integrity or not. There is no in between. That's why I say it again as it is bluntly. World leaders and world renowned institutions betrayed us in daytime while watching their white lies, incorruptedness, and illegality with our naked eyes. And the consequence is the death of our people, a precious life, thousands of civilians to become refugees, to flood their country for safety. Every household is affected one way or the other. If global citizens can't stop the deception of world leaders in world institutions who is promoting and praising and applauding a criminal or facilitating for a crime to be committed on civilians, it will be a matter of time. This lawlessness and illegality working in favor of criminals and all the deceptions through the media, the narrative, the bias to confuse people, to make people powerless and weak, will come to your turf and affect you as well. So let's oppose such lawlessness that puts civilized lives at risk and condemn the world against the world crime against civilians and crimes against sovereignty. If someone thinks we are all ignorant, we are not. Deceived, yes. Betrayed, big time. Because we give people the benefit of the doubt. We give the American government trusting. We give the Ethiopian illegitimate leader Abiy Ahmed the benefit of the doubt. But two people betraying us is costing thousands of civilians in Ethiopia. I believe this is the world's responsibility to respond to the cause, because what started in Ethiopia is not stopping there. It's shifting now to the United States. It will go to Europe, not only for the sake of we Ethiopians, but for the global community safety. Stop the war in Tigray. Stop the abuse in all Ethiopian people. I believe this kind of character traits, loyalty, and diligence that offers an arm extended open with no reservation